cheating doesn't matter. Now wait, before you go disliking the video, let me tell you why in 5 words or less. Cheating shouldn't affect someone's legacy. Now what do legacy and cheating have to do with each other? Well, let me explain. This is Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. You know, civil rights activist, reverend, potentially affected by the police, no comment. Overall good guy. This is B. Simone, an entertainer known for her appearance on the TV show Wild 'N Out and a creator on YouTube. Now, what do these two people have in common? Well, Miss B. Simone made a video about Dr. King saying that because he cheated on his wife, his message about civil rights is not as important or worse off because of it. Check it out.
What's more important, the fact that Martin Luther King is the man that we see that fought for freedom, or the fact that he was cheating on his wife?
Jesus. He's a great father. He's a great father. He's a great businessman. He's a great CEO. He's an entrepreneur.
He's such a boss.
He's such a boss.
He's a boss.
Look at that man. He's a boss.
Look at him.
He's a great father. Look at him, that strong black man. But he's great in all these other aspects. How are you a great leader, a great CEO, a great black man, a great father, a great leader in any aspect? You're not a great husband, a great communicator, a great...
You're a liar.
You're not great.
You're a liar.
Not great.
You're a liar.
You're not great.
Did we need to know that he was a cheater?
Jesus.
Would that have shifted the way we
looked at him
and received information from him?
Now first off, let me say cheating isn't good right off the bat. I never said that, nor am I making that statement. Personally, cheating is a crappy thing to do, but it brings up a larger discussion about something else related to what these ladies were basically saying, and that is, does an artist's actions affect their art? Or the way you've probably heard it said before is, should you separate an artist from their art? Well, I think yes, personally, and here's why. Now, I'm well aware MLK isn't an artist in the traditional sense. He's done amazing things for humanity, but he's not like a musician or an artist. But I know someone who is more of a technical artist, and his name is Travis Scott. Now, I'm going to make a connection between Travis Scott and MLK in a second here, but first I'm going to talk about a controversy that happened close to about a year ago, and that is the whole Astroworld situation, in which, if you haven't heard, basically around a year ago, like I said, a bunch of people got hurt pretty bad, and some even died because the venue he was performing at was overcrowded, due to part of the venue not being honest with Mr. Scott, and also because Travis himself wasn't very responsible in doing the research and controlling the crowd. Not very sicko mode, Trav. But what do Travis and Martin, not Lawrence but Luther King, have in common? Well, according to these ladies, we should discredit what these men have done because of their actions. And I'm here to argue, no, that's completely backwards. Just because someone has done something in their personal life, that doesn't mean that we should take away from what they've done, or made, or said, if it's a good message, regardless. Now, there's a variety of levels to this in which I don't plan on getting into in this video, but one thing I can tell you is you shouldn't concern yourself with what these people have done in their personal lives if you want to enjoy their art or actions in MLK's case. Now, that doesn't mean you shouldn't talk about any bad things they've done, or anything you disagree with, or anything that you find gross, because if someone has done a crappy thing, go talk about it. If you have reservations about someone for something they've done, then that's completely fine. You can do that. If someone has done something shitty, they should be able to be called out for that just as much as anyone else. But what I'm saying is, if someone has made art or a message that is positive, we need to separate that from the person, and they should be treated as two separate things. And the reason being is because these people's art, while yes, can be considered an extension of them, not the physical person. It's merely something they created. Like a child, for instance. If the parent of a child has done something shitty, we don't take out the anger of that shitty thing out on the child, but on the parent, because the child didn't do anything. And much like an artist's art, the art never did anything. The artist did. Let's take Travis Scott, for instance, again. He has a discography spanning over 5 years, approximately 5 projects in that time, not including his collaborative stuff, and it's considered to be good music for a lot of people. But should his actions in this Astroworld case completely negate the 5 years of work that he's done? In my opinion, no. Same for MLK. Should his whole message of activism and civil rights over the years he was doing this be completely negated because he cheated on his wife for a substantially shorter amount of time? In my opinion, no. Now let's be real with ourselves for a second here. MLK cheating on his wife is not as severe as something like, for instance, Harvey Weinstein has done. Now, I'm not trying to play this game of, oh, this is worse, so this is acceptable. No, cheating is not acceptable at all. I don't like cheating. I think cheating is bad. But that shouldn't change Martin Luther King's overall message. In my opinion, Martin Luther King's message should stay unaffected by things that he's done in his personal life. His message stands on its own. He wanted to help connect peoples from different colors, the black community and the white community. And that on itself should stay that way. The sanctity of his message should stay untouched from anything he's done in his personal life, because it's great and it was positive and it made for change. Now, I don't know Martin Luther King personally, and I can't attest to whether he's a good guy or not, but he's done a lot more good than he's done bad. And that is just something I want to point out. And also, another thing I want to point out is, like Abba and Preach mentioned, the FBI were doing similar tactics, you know, using his infidelity and spreading that out in the public to spoil King's image to the public.
The irony of this whole thing, they're talking about, was he a good man? Was this black man a good man? And they're using the fact that he cheated against him is the exact same tactic that the FBI used to try to discredit Martin Luther King at that time. It says a lot that you use the exact same lingo that the feds used to try to discredit his message during the civil rights movement. You have, in a way, taken up the very role that the oppressive FBI used against Martin Luther King.
Now, before I wrap up this video, I just want to say this isn't a video bashing these two creators. I think they're completely entitled to their opinion, and they have the right to talk about the bad things Martin Luther King has done. He's not perfect. He's like me, like you, like them. He's prone to make mistakes also, and has made mistakes telling by his cheating scandal. And, you know, to me, that's fine to bring up all that stuff. If someone has done something objectively bad, we should talk about it. It just honestly humanizes these people more to me. We shouldn't platform these people and pretend like they're perfect. And another thing I want to get into before I wrap this up is that there's a severity of things that people can do. Like, for instance, Harvey Weinstein would be more at the top. You know, I do not support anyone that is like that, for example. I think the artist can be completely rotten and a bad person objectively, while their message and their art can stay pure. I think we still can separate their art from them. Now, the person's a piece of shit, but the art can be unaffected by that. And it should. It's its own thing. Like I said before in an analogy, it's like a child. And with King, yes, cheating is bad, but it's not so bad to the point of where I'm gonna sit here and tell you that King was a bad person, or that his message should be completely ruined because of something he's done. I'm not ready to say that. His art needs to stand on its own. His message needs to stand on its own because of how positive it was, no matter what King has done. Michael Jordan was a degenerate gambler. Winona Ryder likes to steal shit. Travis Scott killed people inadvertently with his actions at his concert. R. Kelly did really, really bad things to young girls, and MLK cheated. I just listed 5 things of varying severity by 5 different people. Now, the question has yet to be remained still. Should these people's actions affect their legacy or not? In my opinion, no. And for the simple reason of this. When we think about a work, we don't think about the person behind it most of the time. Like when you think about Starry Night, you don't think about the person who created it. When you think of Mona Lisa, you don't think of Da Vinci. Same thing with any piece of art. When you think about that art, you just think about itself in its entirety, not about the creator behind it. That's why I think that we shouldn't focus on that, because we can separate the art from the artist. That's why it's called their art. And most importantly, that is why cheating doesn't matter. Thank you for watching.